Hello, I am Abraham Lincoln. I was born February 1st of 1809 in a log cabin in Hodgenville, Kentucky. My parents were Nancy Hanks and Thomas Lincoln. My stepmother's name was Sarah Johnston and my grandfather was also named Abraham Lincoln. I had a sister named Sarah that was 2 years older than me and a brother, Thomas, that died as an infant. I was 6'3", lean, had coarse black hair, gray eyes, and weighed 180 pounds. I was made fun of and judged about my height, but people later realized that I was a good person. I suffered through many tragedies in my life. I almost drowned in a creek when I was 2, but a boy in my neighborhood saved me. My mother died from milk-sick disease and both me and my father suffered from depression. My father remarried Sarah a year later. My grandfather was also killed by ambushing, skulking Indians. Even though I went through many things to increase my depression, I was able to conquer many professions in my life. I continued farming until I was 22 because I was only educated in the required areas like reading, writing, and ciphering. I worked as a clerk in New Salem and joined the Army when the Black Hawk War began. I was elected captain of the volunteers, but I wanted to do something that was better, so I ran for state legislature in 1832, but failed. When I couldn't campaign because the war got in the way, I went to law school and ran for legislature in 1834 and was re-elected in 1836. In 1842 I married Mary Todd and we had 4 kids together. We had Robert Todd Lincoln, Edward Baker Lincoln, William Wallace Lincoln, and Thomas Lincoln, but only Robert survived past childhood. Edward died at age 4 from pulmonary tuberculosis. William died at age 11 of typhoid fever, and Thomas died at age 18 from tuberculosis. They were each wonderful children that Mary and I loved very much. In 1846 I was elected for the lower house of Congress, but I didn't win re-election in 1848 due to criticism of the Mexican War. I was nominated as the Republican candidate for president and won. I took office on March 4, 1861. 7 states had seceded from the Union and more states were planning on seceding as I took office. They did this because the northern states and I were against slavery. I issued the Emancipation Proclamation January 1, 1863, and it stated that all slaves had freedom in any state of the Confederate States of America that did not return to the Union control by January 1, 1863. It was very successful and helped me gain control of the states. In July of 1863 the Union troops defeated Robert E. Lee's Virginia Army and we had won the battle at Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I delivered the Gettysburg Address about 4 months later and it states the importance of equality in America emerging from war. In 1864 I put Ulysses S. Grant in charge of the armies because he had wonderful strategies that gave the Union a huge advantage. In November of 1864 I was re-elected and Lee surrendered on April 9, 1865, a month after I was inaugurated. I was attending a play at Ford Theater in Washington when I was shot by John Wilkes Booth in my booth. I died after lying in the White House for a day and my body was sent in a train back to Illinois.